The Amazing Princess Annora.
Once upon a time in the bright and beautiful Kingdom of Lumina, there lived a princess named Annora. She was loved by all who knew her, not just because she wore a sparkling crown or because she lived in a grand palace, but because she was kind, curious, and full of joy. Annora had a cozy companion, a fluffy little rabbit named Pebbles. Pebbles had fur as soft as clouds and ears that flopped when he hopped. Wherever Annora went, Pebbles was never far behind, and together they made even the dullest day feel like an adventure. One golden morning, Annora decided to stroll through the palace rose garden. The roses were in full bloom, painting the air with sweet perfume. Pebbles hopped ahead, chasing butterflies and rustling the tall grass. Annora twirled in her pink ball gown, humming a song she had made up herself. Just as she bent down to smell a rose, the air shimmered. It sparkled the way sunlight dances on water. Annora blinked in surprise. From the shimmer stepped a tall woman in a flowing gown that glowed like crystals. Her wings were delicate and shining, like crystals spun from starlight. "Princess Annora," the woman said in a voice that was as soft as music, "I am your fairy godmother." Annora gasped and clapped her hands. "My fairy godmother? Truly? I thought they only appeared in stories." The fairy godmother laughed, her voice tinkling like bells. "Oh no, dear one. Fairy godmothers are quite real, though we only appear when our children need us most." She leaned forward with a twinkle in her eye. "And I think your heart has a wish." Annora tilted her head. "Well, I do have a wish. But it's not for jewels or fancy dresses. I wish I could make the people in Lumina laugh and smile every day. Sometimes the villagers look so tired and worried, and I wish I could give them happiness." The fairy godmother beamed. "Ah, a true princess's heart. That is a noble wish indeed." She tapped her wand against her hand. "Magic can make wonders, Annora, but it is kindness that makes wonders last. Come, let us see what joy we can bring together." She waved her wand, and in an instant the rose garden transformed. The bushes grew taller and twisted into archways, wrapped with lanterns that glowed like fireflies. Ribbons of starlight spread across the ground, forming paths that led to merry rides. Cotton candy bushes sprouted beside the roses, and flower swings hung from the branches of tall oaks. A carousel made of daisies and lilies spun gently, and the air was filled with the scent of sugar and laughter. Pebbles blinked, wiggled his nose, and gave a happy hop right into a bush that had turned into a cotton candy fluff. Annora laughed until her sides ached. Before long, the villagers began to arrive. One by one, families wandered into the magical fairground. Their tired faces lit up as they saw the wonders. Children climbed onto the spinning flower carousel, bakers discovered gingerbread houses that grew like mushrooms, and grandmothers found benches made of clouds that rocked gently like cradles. The kingdom rang with laughter. "This is wonderful!" Annora cried, twirling in delight. She clapped her hands as she watched the children race Pebbles around the candy paths. But then, out of the corner of her eye, she noticed something. At the far edge of the fairground stood a little boy. He wore worn-out clothes and scuffed shoes. In his hands, he clutched a small wooden horse, but it was broken. One of the legs was missing. While everyone else played and laughed, the boy stood still, his shoulders drooping. Annora's heart squeezed. She lifted her gown slightly and walked over. Pebbles hopped behind her, his ears twitching. "Hello," Annora said gently. "Why aren't you joining the fun?" The boy looked down. "I can't," he whispered. "Everyone has something special to play with. My toy is broken." "I don't fit in." Annora bent down beside him. "Oh, but you do fit in. Here, May I see your toy?" The boy hesitated, then placed the wooden horse in her hands. Annora turned to her fairy godmother. "Can you fix it, please?" The fairy godmother nodded and touched the toy with her wand. Instantly, the horse glowed and transformed. It became a magnificent wooden horse with shiny hooves that clicked as it trotted in place. The boy gasped as the horse whinnied and bowed its head to him like a real steed. The boy's eyes sparkled brighter than the lanterns. "Thank you," he cried, hugging Annora and then dashing off with his magical toy horse. The fairy godmother bent down close to Annora's ear. "Do you see, dear child? The magic is lovely, yes, but it is your kindness that made his joy shine the brightest." Annora's cheeks flushed with happiness. She looked around the fairground again. Everywhere she turned, there were smiles, laughter, and songs. She noticed people sharing, children helping one another climb onto the rides, and parents holding hands as they watched. The fairy godmother tapped her wand again, and the evening sky filled with twinkling stars. Slowly, the fairground began to fade back into the rose garden. The candy bushes shrank back into roses. The flower swings returned to plain branches, and the carousel of lilies dissolved into petals that floated away on the breeze. Annora sighed a little. "I'll miss it." Her fairy godmother brushed a glowing strand of hair from Annora's face. "Do not be sad. You do not need the fairground to bring joy. You already carry the greatest magic of all." Annora's eyes sparkled. "Kindness?" "Kindness," the fairy godmother agreed with a nod. "As long as you keep that in your heart, you will never run out of magic." She waved her wand once more and a single rose bloomed in Annora's hand. Its petals glowed softly as though holding a star inside. "Whenever you wonder if you are making a difference, look at this rose," the fairy godmother said. "It will remind you that the truest magic is found in love and care for others." Annora hugged the glowing rose to her chest. Pebbles sniffed it, sneezed, and made Annora burst into giggles. "Thank you, fairy godmother," Annora said warmly. "I'll never forget this day." The fairy godmother smiled, kissed Annora on the forehead, and with a twinkle of light, vanished into the night sky. From that day on, Princess Annora was known not only as a princess, but as the Princess of Kindness. And as long as she carried kindness in her heart, her kingdom shone brighter than all the stars above. Princess Annora waves goodbye from her crystal balcony, reminding us that every ending is just the start of a new story. So stay bold, stay kind, and never stop believing in your magic. Until we meet again, this is Princess Annora, shining bright just like you.